Alright, what's going on YouTube? It is Alex from Techrific back again for another video. Maybe you're coming from the Tesla video that's linked right up here. And today we are checking out, right behind me, the Lucid Air. We are currently in beautiful Vancouver, Stanley Park. We got the ocean, the mountains, Lion Gate Bridge. It's all nice. But we're gonna get straight into the video before the sun goes down. It's been a busy day. Right in front of us, we have the Lucid Air. We have it in their gray color. Now, we have some beautiful finishes all around the car. You can see the beautiful Lucid logo. And right over here, the aerodynamics of the car are pretty interesting. You can see that it has a nice grille to let all the air in to the sides, the rear of the car. And then you have some more grills under the car, which will allow the aerodynamics to, you know, be nice and easy. Now, the curvature of the car, it's very standard, although it is a pretty long and wide body. The tires, here are the rims. Nice and simple tire leaf threads. Now, Lucid does allow you to change the stock tires and rims, and they are actually cheaper than most of the other expensive luxury car brands out there. So, here are the lights, beautiful high definition lights. Now, this is not your standard type of lights. You can see that all around there's a light ring which really illuminates the road, especially on those dark, maybe you live in a snowy part of the world days. Now, as you can see right over here, the door is nice and easy to open. So they just pop out when the key is in proximity. And you can see that it does kind of have that automation. Now, one thing to note is that the car works off of proximity. So if ever you leave the keys inside the car and you walk away from it, you're gonna be locked out. So just keep that in mind. Walking into the car, we have some beautiful, I believe it is Alcantara material all over. Nice storage, and overall, just a very beautiful interior. So before we dive into the interior, we're gonna roll a little bit of cinematic and hit the road to see what's really going on with the Lucid Air. Alright guys, so we are going to check out what is in the Lucid Air. So let's hit the road and see if it's really real tech. Alright guys, so we are currently in the Lucid Air, and at first glance the interior is very sleek, luxurious, modern. Now, the handling on the steering wheel is very nice. It is a little thicker around the area where you have the paddle shifters, so I wouldn't say it's necessarily my favorite sort of gear for the steering wheel, but it still does the job. Taking the turn very smoothly, acceleration uphill, it is pretty great. Now, this is just on the smooth drive mode, so there is also Swift and Sprint down over here. So we're just gonna kick that into Swift. Oh yeah, and you can really feel it digging in. And again, barely floored it, and it is just flying straight, taking the corners like an absolute champ. 75 kilometers an hour, and there is absolutely no worry about what this car cannot do. Right in front of us, we have a Tesla Model X. That's the competitor. That's the competitor, guys. If you guys want to see the video where I played with the Tesla Model X, make sure to click on the top right. But Sprint, confirm, we're good. Look at the sunset. Look at the Tesla Model X. Bye-bye, buddy. Taking the turn on Sprint. Oh my, it is absolutely eating the corner, guys.
Yes, my car could.
Okay, this is an F1 car, okay?
Now, again, around the road, you can see that it is very stable. It is taking into account the bikers. I can see it on the dashboard. It shows you the speed limit and everything in between. Fast acceleration around the corner. Eating. 140 kilometers an hour. It's a beast. It is absolutely a beast. It went 70 kilometers just like that. Just like that. Absolutely amazing. Now, let's see the traction. Extremely tight on the traction. Every single movement that I did, the car will do anything that you throw at it. So let's kick it back into smooth because we are getting closer to the city. Overall, I do really love how this car handled everything. The windshield is super big, which is pretty nice. We do have the beautiful sunset. Look at the skyline. Now, unlike the Tesla Model S, it does not have a yoke steering wheel, so it is easier to use one-handed. And we do have a beautiful front center console, guys. So have a beautiful GPS that we're following to head back over to the Lucid Studio. Lucid was super kind to lend us this car, so shout out to Lucid Studio Vancouver. On the bottom, we have a full HD panel as well, which allows us to control many stuff. So as I mentioned, we have the different drive modes, as well as what you control, the doors, the windows, and so forth. Testing the brakes, and exactly just like it does. Regenerative braking, super useful. And the manual brake, we were at 70 and we got down back to 10 in super quick timing. GPS navigation system, I wouldn't say it is my favorite UI. It is somewhat confusing, and guys, I just took the wrong direction. So now's the time to test out the turning radius of this car. Turning radius of the car, it is a big body, so you do obviously need to do a quick little 3-point turn if you do want to go around your standard, street, unlike the Tesla Model S where you were able to just whip around. So let's get back and yield, and we are good. Beautiful. So we're back on the good direction. It helped us test out the turning radius. Now, as I mentioned before, I took the wrong turn. Right over here, we do have the controls. So you do have your little light controls. You can select to have them on auto, as well as your wipers. Now the wipers are on auto, so whatever you need the wipers to do, they're going to be automatic. And then you have your different defrost options. Now the window is fogging up, so we're gonna see how the defrosting works. And matter of fact, it cleared pretty quickly in my personal opinion. Like, it's all gone now, which is amazing. I don't know what sort of technology they have. Another nice thing is that they have a digital speedometer. So the digital speedometer allows you to see the speed limit, as well as the speed limit in miles per hour, which is really convenient if you're in a place of the world that uses miles per hour. Now, one thing I do find kind of weird are just the signal lights. Now, the signal lights, Tech Realism mentioned it in his video, just the way that when you click it down, it's haptic and it clicks right back up. So we gotta just get used to that. But one thing that you gotta know is how the camera system around the car is. It's super convenient. Maybe you're doing a last minute lane change because somebody is not driving properly, and so you're gonna automatically just swerve like that to check your blind spot. But now you don't really have to do it anymore, although shoulder checking is essential. But if I do this, you can see that the camera pops up right there, which is super good. Now see how I popped it back? It was to notify me that there was an obstacle on my rear. So this car is super safe, super secure in terms of stability, road handling, as well as just overall awareness of what's going on in the car. Alright guys, now one thing to know is that this car does not have a friendly price tag, which is why I am absolutely freaking out driving it in high traffic in downtown, because if something happens, I'm responsible, which is why the surround system, safety and all that is super useful. It can get a little annoying though, which is why Lucid implemented in their UI right over here, yellow light, a little option where you could change your different settings. So if you want to turn off your drowsy driver warning, which basically keeps you in the know of if you're looking forward. So if, let's say, I look to the side for too long, the vehicle will alert me that I'm being drowsy. And if you want to turn that off, you could do so right there. Distracted driver warning. If you're being distracted, you're not paying attention, whether you're on your phone or you may be swerving into somebody else's lane, car, object, animal, person. Hopefully it's not a person or an animal, but you know, turn that off if that annoys you. But overall, super useful. Now, one thing that I am noting, especially around all these buildings in beautiful Vancouver, is how you have the 3D of the map. So it's kind of looking like an Apple map where you have everything that's just in your surroundings, and Lucid is implementing it in their UI. The UI is something to for sure get used to. I know many of the hybrid and electric vehicles are just have a very interesting UI. They just like making it complicated. I mean, it could be a very simple UI with a very simple design, but they have just so many options because it's absolutely a jam-packed device. Other than that, you can see that the fans turned on automatically just now because it is detecting the frost. And right over here, you could have seen, maybe I'll zoom in post-editing, it said traffic cleared. So it basically lets you know when the traffic in front of you moves up. So we are almost back at Lucid Studio in Vancouver. It has been an absolute blast. The steering wheel feels amazing. The logo design is absolutely amazing. Once we get to a parquet, we're gonna do a little test of how the horn sounds. I don't want to do it right now and get people frustrated. Obviously, you have the little volume and skip around buttons. Now, it is the same sort of material and design that are on the door handles, door panels. You have your microphone for your voice assistant and lane control and so forth. So it is a very beautiful car with, as I mentioned, a posture fold material. I believe that's what Lucid calls it. And it has been an absolute joy driving the Lucid. Super strong, low to the ground car. If you're in the market for a Tesla, if you're in the market for a Lucid, they're both very good electric options. Lucid is making a big come into the North American market. We're big in Europe, and now they're expanding throughout Canada and the United States. So if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to smash that like button, comment down below, subscribe with notifications on, and ring that button.